Bird, it's plain, it's Mr. Clintastik, and I am here with a set review for M21. Today I'll be focusing on the black section of M21, and primarily we'll be discussing draft and sealed, and if I feel the cards are good enough to see standard, I'll bring it up. I'm not really familiar with Pioneer, Modern, the older formats, so this is going to be a limited and standard set review, you know, for those that are interested in that bit. But anyways, let's start off. Here we have Alchemist's Gift, a 1-drop instant speed spell. Target creature gets 1/1 and gains your choice of Death Touch or Lifelink until end of turn. Alright, so we're already seeing some action for limited here, especially. Being able to get Lifelink or Death Touch on one end, if you have a 1/1 guy and they have a big threat swinging in, hey, you got Death Touch, you can kill it off. On the other end, you're low in life, but you're a mid-range deck and you have your big guy out. Hey, I'm gonna give my big guy Lifelink and turn the game in my favor. So I like Alchemist's Gift. I think it's solid. I have to see the rest of the cards in the set, and that's another thing. I haven't seen all the cards in the set yet, so this is more like an initial impressions, but initial impressions for limited, I like that. Next we have Archfiend's Vessel, a 1-drop creature human cleric, lifelink. When Archfiend's Vessel ETBs, if it entered from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 black demon creature with flying. Huh. I like it. I love it. It's uncommon. It's a 1/1 lifelinker, which is already solid. So if you want to go for some kind of aristocrat strategy, boom, you got a way to gain life. But the fact that if you cast this out of your graveyard, one of the things that already come to mind is Luris. You have your Luris on the board. This guy's in the yard. You bring him back. You get a 5/5 demon. What? This card is actually insane. That's probably why they changed them companion rules. Not probably why, but this is kind of sick. This is broken in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think this might even see standard play, maybe even some older formats. This is slick good in my opinion. Next we have Bad Deal, a 2 black, 4 generic sorcery speed spell. You draw 2 cards and each opponent discards 2 cards. Each player loses 2 life. It depends on the pace of the limited format. Now the standard, of course I'm not really talking about that. But the pace of the limited format, the draw 2 cards and each opponent discards 2 cards could be highly relevant. Highly relevant because it's not only gaining you that card advantage, it may be getting rid of 2 of their more potent late game threats. I like it. Next we have Blood Glutton, a 1 black 4 generic vampire with lifelink, 4/3. Almost vanilla. It's not necessarily vanilla because it has an ability lifelink. I'm not feeling it. I'm not trying to cram a 4/3 5-drop lifelinker. Maybe if it had flying. Oh yeah, Plague. That 3-drop card with call it a Death Dweller, bringing this back from the yard. Oh jeez. And they did put a little stipulation on it. It has to be exiled. Alright, next up we have Caged Zombie, a 1 black, 2 generic zombie. Pay 1 and a black. Tap, each opponent loses 2 life. Activate this ability only if a creature died this turn. They're making a lot of cards with these stipulations on there. I don't know why they want to give us all this additional stipulation. Maybe it's because to reduce the power level or whatnot. I don't want to pay 2 and tap this and do it only if a creature died this turn. Take the only if a creature died this turn off Yes. Especially at 3 mana. I don't like this card. I'm moving on. Next we have Carrion Grub, a 1 black 3 generic insect. Carrion Grub gets X plus 0, where X is the greatest power among creature cards in your graveyard. When Carrion Grub ETBs, mill 4 cards. So a lot of people have been excited about the Magic actually recognizing mill as a function and actually putting it on the card instead of putting 2 or 4 cards in the yard, it's actually saying mill 4 cards. So that's kind of cool. Um, I don't like cards like this in limited. I don't like kind of losing value. I'm not big on bringing my cards back from the yard in limited. I always seem to lose some of my most potent spells when I do so. Um, Now it can power up your guy if you're running some kind of Golgari strat. Um, but otherwise, I'm not a fan of this. I just know someone's gonna play it. And the fact that it's a 0/5, it's not very exciting at all. Next we have Crypt Lurker, a 1 black 3 generic horror. When Crypt Lurker ETBs, you may sacrifice a creature or discard a creature. If you do, draw a card. Okay. It replaces itself in a sense. It's still one of those conditional spells. Once again, I'm not a big fan of it. You may not be seeing me play that at all. Now they're bringing back saplings. Here's Deathbloom Thalid, a 1 black 2 generic fungus. When Deathbloom Thalid dies, create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. It's a 3/2. This is decent when you're trying to pull together sack strats. I think it was Dominaria that where we had a lot of sapling synergies. So, and I haven't seen the full set yet. I don't know. I would assume there's going to be more sapling synergies coming in the set if they're reprinting this. So I just have to wait and see. Right now, it's decent. It's a 3/2 body for 3, and when it dies, it leaves a body. So I don't think it's bad, especially if you have you have cards that make you sack creatures and things like that. So I think this could be kind of decent. Demonic Embrace, a 2 black 1 generic aura. Enchanted creature gets 3/1, has flying, and is a demon in addition to its other types. You may cast Demonic Embrace from your graveyard by paying 3 and discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. In limited, I don't know. The fact that you can bring it back from the yard is very relevant. It gives a creature 3/1, which powers it up dramatically and gives it flying. So that's pretty cool as well. I think this is going to see play if people see it. They're going to at least try it. It just really depends on how much removal comes about. Because if we have a lot of removal, you try to slam this onto a creature and you just kill it off. Granted, you can bring it back from the yard. That's what makes this a little better than other auras, in my opinion. So I think it'll see play, but once again, not a strat that I'm going to be looking at too closely. All right, here we got Duress. 1 black sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. I'm not gonna play that in limited. I just don't think it's worth it. I think you just need to focus on the strat you're going for. Now, if that's a discard strategy, maybe, but otherwise, you're just trading off 1 card for something they may not have even cared about. Next, we have Eliminate. 1 black, 1 generic. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana 3 or less. Boom. Boom. Yes. 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 This is very good. This is very, very good. It's great in the early game. It can be good in the late game. And honestly, this is good for standard. There's so many 3-drop walkers. I'm running a 3-drop walker deck myself. Narset, there's Teferi, there's Kaya, there's just so many things. 3-drop Ashiok. I don't even know what else. Oh yeah, 3-drop Chandra. There's so many things that Eliminate is going to eliminate. This is excellent. I'll play this in standard and I'll play this in limited. I really like that. Next we have Fetid Imp. 1 black, 1 generic, Imp, flying. Pay a black, Fetid Imp gains Death Touch until end of turn 1/2. Couldn't they have just given that Death Touch? I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Next we have Finishing Blow. A 1 black, 4 generic instant speed spell. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Yes. Yes. Not for standard, but limited. This is what you want to pick as many times as possible. Like, boom, that's gone. Boom, that's gone. No exile 4 greater or 3 or less or anything. It's destroy target creature or planeswalker. Goodbye. Period. Next we have Gloom Sour. 2 black, 5 generic horror. When Gloom Sour becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. It is an 8/6. Overcost. That's very, very high cost. If you have a way to, get this on the battlefield for free, bring it back from the yard or something like that, this can do work for you. But this is very expensive. I'm not trying to invest so much time and energy in limited to try to bring that to the board. If I see something that can really help push it a little bit, maybe, but for now, no thank you. Next we have Gormand, a 2 black, 4 generic demon. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature. It has flying, it has trample, and when he ETBs, each opponent sacks a creature. Okay, so this isn't just you sack a creature to bring him out to the board. You sack a creature, and your opponent has to sack a creature. That's what I want to see. It's a 5/5. Granted, it's 6 mana, but it does have trample. Now, they could have made this a 5/5 for 5 and taken off the trample, but the fact that it has trample, I think, is relevant slightly because it already has flying, which is kind of evasion in itself. I don't know if that's redundant. I don't know if that cost is worth it. I don't know if we're going to have enough ramp. We're going to have a slow enough limited format for this to be played. But offhand, I like it. And this is something I would really consider. All right. Next we have Grasp of Darkness. 2 black, instant speed. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. I mean, why not? It's a great way to get rid of a lot of threats. When this was standard a few years back, it saw play. It saw play in mono black builds and whatnot. I think it might see play again in standard. It just kind of depends on where everything's going. It deals with gods, which is relevant, indestructible things. Yeah, Grasp is a classic. Next we have Grim Tutor. 2 black, 1 generic, sorcery speed spell. Search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle your library, you lose 3 life. A lot of people's hype about this. A lot of people's hype about Grim Tutor. I'm not hype about Grim Tutor. I'm sure they're hype about it for reprint value and whatnot, trying to get it at a lower cost. But this card is just so-so to me. I feel like there's so many other ways to do things now, but I could be completely wrong. I'm not going to run this in limited. I'm not running it in standard either, so I don't know what format it belongs to, maybe modern or something. Especially for it to be mythic. Next we have Hooded Blightfang. 1 black, 2 generic snake, Death Touch. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay. And whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. What? Like, nah, I might be getting overexcited. I just like this is initial impressions, mind you. And yeah, Tutor is mythic now. I don't know why. But initial impressions, I'm like, well. This can go in your aristocrat strategy, because there's so many ways to give creatures Death Touch now. And I think this can be played in limited. I think you can assemble enough Death Touchers. I might be wrong, but I think you can assemble enough Death Touchers, I would hope, to make this give you at least a little slight bit of value. Like there's the one card we were talking about earlier that give target creature Death Touch. So, and it's a 1/4. And if your opponent, they happen to get Teferi, they happen to get Basri Ket, these planeswalkers we know are in the format for limited. You have a Death Toucher, ping them, they're dead. That's what I want. You said, let's bring back Infect. No. All right. Next is Infernal Scarring, a 1 black, 1 generic aura. Enchanted creature gets 2/0 and has, when this creature dies, draw a card. Not my favorite. Karavek the Spiteful, a 2 black, 2 generic, a legendary creature, human warlock. Other creatures get -1/-1. It's a 3/2. I like this. I like this a lot. When there was the 6-drop enchantment, Ethereal Absolution, didn't that give your creatures -1/-1? And that was really potent. That was 6 mana. You get to do that here with a 3/2. I think this would definitely see limited play. It can be a board wipe on a body. Oh, I guess it's so cheap because it says other creatures, not opponent's creatures. So that can be relevant too. Like, I don't know about that. It powers down your whole board as well. I have to rethink on that one. Here's another reprint. Kitesail Freebooter, 1 black, 1 generic human pirate with flying. When Kitesail Freebooter ETBs, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. Exile that card until Kitesail Freebooter leaves the battlefield. When this was standard, it definitely saw play. Will I run it in limited? I don't know. I'm not sure if this is a pirate themed set. I think they're just reprinting some pirates. Next, we have Liliana, Waker of the Dead. 2 black, 2 generic, Planeswalker, Liliana. Each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Now, that's her +1. Now, I said in the post that that's a win con. Your opponent, they're at 3 life. They have no cards in hand. You've controlled the whole game. Boom. You're dead. But some people don't see it that way. Next, we have -3. Target creature gets -X until in turn where X is the number of cards in your yard. Not creatures, cards. So your instants, sorceries, artifacts, lands, everything. Other walkers can contribute to being able to basically like ping off at least 1 creature. And then the next 7, you get an emblem at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put target creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control against haste. You want to run this unlimited all day. This is going to see standard play. Why not? She only costs 4 mana. The +1's already giving you value. The -3 protects her slightly. Then the -7 is insane. I love this. Next we have Liliana's Devotee, a 1 black, 2 generic human warlock. Zombies you control get +1/+0. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, you may pay 1 black, 1 generic. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. I don't like the if a creature dies stipulation. I guess that goes well in Aristocrats build. I might be thinking about that in the wrong narrative, but I'm not excited about that. Liliana's Standard Bearer, 1 black, 2 generic, zombie knight with flash. Relevant. Flash and black is always relevant, in my opinion. When Liliana's Standard Bearer ETBs, draw X cards where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. I guess, if you have the 3 mana up and they run out of board wipe or something, or you have the mana up, they kill your big threat, you can replace it and put a body on the board. I think this is decent. It's rare, so you might not see a lot of copies, but I think it's decent. Next, we have Liliana Steward, a 1 black zombie. Tap it, sacrifice Liliana Steward, target opponent discards a card, activate this ability only anytime you can cast a sorcery. Recurable discard? Not my favorite. Malefic Scythe, 1 black, 1 generic artifact equipment. When Malefic Scythe ETBs, ETBs with a soul counter on it. Equipped creature gets 1/1 for each soul counter on Malefic Scythe. Am I saying that right? Malefic Scythe. Whenever equipped creature dies, put a soul counter on Malefic Scythe. Equipped for 1. They're doing a lot of things with these death triggers. Not exactly sure if I'm the biggest fan of the death triggers for something like this. But if you know your creatures are going to die and you have ways to bring them back, go for it. Next we have Masked Bodyguard. No, sorry. when your eyes play tricks on you. Masked Blackguard. 1 black, 1 generic, human rogue. Another black creature with flash. You can pay 1 black, 2 generic. Masked Blackguard gets 1/1 until end of turn. It's a 2/1. Okay, you can sink mana into it to pump it up, and it has flash. Maybe ends a game for you. I think it's limited playable. Next we have Massacre Worm, a 3 black, 3 generic worm. When Massacre Worm ETBs, creatures your opponent's control gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, that player loses 2 life. Ooh! So I can see like definitely limited playable. I don't know about standard. You can't always guarantee your opponent's going to have creatures on the board. You might be going against control strategy, but in standard, your opponents are most likely going to be playing creatures. So you have your guys out, they have their guys out. You attack in, they block or whatever. You use the extra damage if they have high defenders. You finish off their guys or whatnot. I don't know. I like this. I think this has a lot of versatility. I think this can, if you wipe out 4 creatures, it deals 8 damage. You wipe out 5 creatures. I know that's, pipe dream, but you wipe out 5 creatures, that's 10 damage. Like, come on. That's sick. Mind Rot, 1 black, 2 generic. Target player discards 2 cards. People play it on me. It works. I try to run it. It doesn't. So take that with a grain of salt. Here we have Necromentia, 2 black, 1 generic sorcery. Choose a card name other than a basic land card name. So you can choose, I guess, non-basic lands. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles their library, then creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each card exiled from their hand that way. Okay, so it doesn't mean exiled from their library. The fact that this can target non-basic lands is kind of interesting. People might run this in standard because you can target a lot of things with it. Now they do get the zombie only if you exile the card out of their hand, which is nice because if it would have said for each copy you exile, that would have been putting like, possibly 8 power on the board, but only, maybe 2, maybe 4 power. You can kind of deal with that. In limited, I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna see play in limited, and I think that's rare. Most time I'd be like, oh, if you see it if it's playable in standard, it can be playable in limited, but that right here is not necessarily playable in limited, even though it might see play in standard. Next we have Peer into the Abyss, a 3 black, 4 generic sorcery. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life, round up each time. Did they have to say round up each time? Couldn't they just say round up? I'm not playing this. I mean, I'm guessing it could be like a closeout in a mill strat in standard, but I don't. This is limited in standard. This is just a gold rare. All right. Next we have 2 black, 1 generic, Pestilent Haze, sorcery. Choose 1. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. All right. Remove 2 loyalty counters from each planeswalker. Ooh, that's interesting. Like, you don't have to necessarily kill a planeswalker, because some of these walkers we have from War of the Spark, for instance, they only have tick down abilities, or maybe you put them in a position where they can't, use their ability to the fullest. I like this. I like this in limited as well. -2/-2 to each creature, to all creatures, and once again, pay attention that all creatures relevant, so you can't kill your board, but I think they might see some play left and right. Next we have Rise Again, a 1 black, For generic sorcery, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Great way to get some of these overcosted creatures from the yard back to the battlefield. The Rise Again is 5 mana itself, but I think it potentially could see a little bit of limited play. Why not? Next we have Sanctum of Stone Fangs, a 1 black, 1 generic, legendary enchantment, another shrine. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, okay, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. Now all these shrines are legendary, so you're not going to be able to just have a, 20 shrine deck, which is kind of unfortunate. I feel like this could have been way cooler. I'm not excited about it at all. Next we have Sanguine Indulgence, a 1 black, 3 generic sorcery. This spell costs 3 less to cast if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. So this could essentially be a 1-drop, return 2 cards from the yard. I think this is a limited play. Standard, but definitely limited, where people, they're confident they're going to get their 3 life to play this for 1, get some mad value off that. Next we have Silver Smoked Ghoul, a 1 black, 2 generic zombie vampire. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, return Silver Smoked Ghoul from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. You can pay a black and a generic, sacrifice Silver Smoked Ghoul, draw a card. This is excellent. You're definitely going to play this in limited. Why not? You can sack it off, draw a card, you gain 3 life, you bring it back. I'll be playing this all day long. Black is getting some power here. Skeleton Archer, a 1 black, 3 generic Skeleton Archer. When Skeleton Archer enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to any target. It's a 3/3. I'm not excited about that, especially since we see so many cheaper abilities that have neg abilities to the whole board, not just single target. Tavern Swindler, a 1 black, 1 generic human rogue. You can tap, pay 3 life, flip a coin. If you win the flip, you gain 6 life. Oh, this is interesting. It's a 2/2 for 2, so it's at the very least a bear. And you can tap it, pay 3 life, flip a coin. If you win the flip, you gain 6 life. All right. I mean, I guess in a sense, all of us MTG players are inherent gamblers to an extent. I might just do this, and you don't even have to you don't have to pay mana, but I think people would be willing to pay life all day. So I'll pay 3 life. Let me see if I hit that. Did I hit that? I like this card. I don't think it's gonna see standard play, but I like it for limited. Next we have Thieves Guild Enforcer, a 1 black human rogue with flash. So we have 3 black creatures with flash so far. When Thieves Guild Enforcer or another rogue ETBs under your control, each opponent mills 2 cards. Ooh. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, Thieves Guild Enforcer gets 2/1 and has Death Touch. It's a 1/1. I like it. You're probably not going to get multiple of these in limited at all, but the fact that it does have flash and it can mill the opponent 2 cards, and in late game it can be a Death Touch. I think it has enough versatility to make it decent. Oh yeah, Kiwi, people are gonna be flipping coins all the time to see if they can hit that extra life. Next we have Village Rites, a 1 black instant speed spell. As an additional cost to cast this creature, to cast this spell, sacrifice the creature, draw 2 cards. Yeah! What? I'll sack a creature to draw 2 cards for 1 mana. Especially if they enchant it up to remove it. It's like, oh, you're no use to me anymore? Or I have a way to get it back from the yard? Oh yeah. Alright, here's a card everyone's excited to see. Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose. 1 black, 2 generic, Vampire Cleric, legendary. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. So that pairs really well with the other one. You gain 6 life, they lose 6 life. Boom. You can pay 2 black, 3 generic. Creatures you control gain lifelink until end turn. Definitely play this in limited. People are probably going to try to play it in standard. Next we have Walking Corpse, a 1 black, 1 generic, zombie, 2/2, vanilla. Not much to say about it. And last we have Witch's Cauldron, a 1 black artifact. You can pay a black and a generic. Tap it, sacrifice a creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Okay, this is uncommon, but I might play this because you can just keep on doing it. I like the fact that you can keep on doing it. So yeah, that's all the cards from, well, all the black cards from M21. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, follow, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the new cards from the black section. And also take a look at my previous set reviews. I've already reviewed the colors white and blue for M21. So I'll see you guys next time.